No, we're giving you the real deal. It's in front of us. There's a couple guys out there too reviewing it. Don't even have the device.
Yeah, they just
That's hard to do. So we're not them.
It's a little Nex Playground cube. You basically get the device, $199. Then you can, as of right now, you can't buy individual games like we're saying.
Yep.
They said it's coming. You get 5 games for free with the price, but if you don't pay, it's $49 for a quarter or $89 for a year currently.
The subscription
The
model.
subscription.
I'm wondering if that's why they're not saying shop for games individually. They're trying out the subscription model, see how it plays out, if it's worth going the other way, or not. But who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
funny how those things work.
I mean, as of right now, you're forced to buy the subscription, really. I mean, you're not forced to, but
Yeah,
5 games, and
5 for $200.
and you're and your kids can see the rows of games below it. If you're getting it, you're obviously going to plan on the subscription because it's over 30 games once you get the subscription. According to all the information, they're adding games every month. As far as I can tell, they've lived up to that.
I mean, I feel like everyone knows Fruit Ninja.
I think we should probably show it. So
Let's see how it compares.
it's got it, it's just this little handy dandy remote. But once you get into a game, then you get the see. It tracks you. Can't see its little message.
Raise your hands.
No. Raise hands or hand?
Hands.
Yeah, so see, look, now.
It knows what hands are.
Put the remote down. Get some
arcade action. Back is right. Yeah. There you go.
making this look a little more difficult than it is, but the screen I'm watching is over
Yeah.
is over here on the side. So you got the old school, Fruit Ninja action. It shows it glows your hand.
Silhouette. It's pretty responsive, I have to say.
Yeah, and I can tell right now from, it's your
Nice.
it's Fruit Ninja.
It is. With a little touch of something extra because it shows like I said, your silhouette with the glowing hands in the background, which is kind of cool.
It's the same like one you played on the little, the touchscreen arcade as well. It kind of feels much like that. It looks good, I think, and so this is an Android box. I do know that the setup process is pretty easy. Plug it in to HDMI, and apparently I can't. And then you get to do the fun.
You got the combo going.
Bonus hits on the
31.
final fruit.
Nice.
I mean, that's your Fruit Ninja, so
Okay.
the tracking pretty solid, and we won't see it here the way we're currently set up, but it will track you. The camera will actually follow you in some games. It'll follow you around a room, which is pretty crazy.
All right, let's try another one. So whack-a-mole, goalkeeper, party foul, or starry.
So this whole starter pack comes with the device. So all these come with the device. Starry's like a wannabe Beat Saber. Whack-a-mole's whack-a-mole. This is one that they, I think, kind of advertised a decent bit. A little goalkeeper action.
All right, let's see if you can save something.
And
Save face, maybe.
keep in mind that this is a little more geared towards kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I have played this one before, and it's a little more on the well, at least I think maybe I played casual, but the goalie glove hit detection was rather large, but now I put it on normal and I'm looking way off. So
Both hands near the bottom.
yeah, so you build up. You see how it actually, you can kind of see it, like the camera does kind of follow you a little bit. Like it does a pretty good job. And this you can't have two people. Let's see.
World 1-1. It's like Mario.
So this game, I know it launches, like it'll launch like an orange fireball one at you randomly, and you have to actually hit it with both hands whenever a fireball one launches at you. If you're playing two-player, you and another player have to actually hit it together. So, there's one that went in. And then there's the power-up meter down there in the bottom, which you can get the drinks to get your health back. And then once you get the power up, you can try to remember, I think it's hold your hands down.
Nice. You got a drink.
Well, I'm doing it too slow, but it'll do like a big wave that blocks every ball for some reason. I can't get it to work. My hands are low enough. There. So you'll shoot that little wave and it'll block every ball that comes in. But you can see this one, I don't know, maybe on a harder difficulty, it's fairly forgiving.
Yeah.
The weird part is, on this one and several games, there's no pause. It just goes level to level to level to level to level.
That's kind of rough.
So, I mean, I guess if you want to throw your kid in front of it and then they just keep going until you hit the stop button.
I mean...
I mean, it makes sense though too, because if you have a little kid, they're not going to understand navigating a menu.
Right. And hopefully they wear themselves out and go to bed early.
You know, I think Elmo just launched a couple weeks ago, one of them, because they have new games every month. Bowling, this is to me kind of comparable to, you got your Wii bowling. I feel like every motion system needs some good
Bowling strike.
action.
1 to 6 players on this one.
And this one actually has unlocks, so you can, like, it had a bunch of Halloween unlocks you could do. So once you reach a certain amount of pins knocked over total, you start unlocking more bowling balls and more pins. You can change the style of your lane. So you'll see, like this one really, this is the one that, I mean, it tracks you. Like you have to,
I see that.
you have to run away and hide from this one if you don't want it to see you.
You might need to after your bowling score.
You know, at least we get to quit early. See, so it's like, hey, here's you again. So you get your little.
Love, you looked away. It's just perfect, but it wasn't.
It's always perfect. So you see, the last time I played it, I was messing with the Halloween
Yeah, for sure.
stuff. And then, so, you know, you can sidestep left and right on the lane. And then when you're ready to bowl, I mean, it's,
You knocked one candle down.
it's kind of awkward because I'm looking that way, so I think I bowled that way. But it'll actually do spin. I haven't quite, played this enough to figure out how the spin works.
Can
It
you
will
put
spin.
bumpers on? Can you have bumper bowling?
Oh, you can do, yeah, you can turn on bumpers.
Hey,
There it
nice.
is.
9.
But this one, you can run through full games of bowling pretty quick. it works pretty well. Like this one is probably, to me, out of a lot of the games I've tried, the more fully featured type game. But if you want to, you can just raise your left hand and then bowl with your left hand.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
But the funny thing is, you can see it's like if you want to bowl, like if you're trying to do it with someone else, it'll chase you all around the room, and you even have to like try to. I mean, you got to like hide behind the other person to get them to raise their hand. It doesn't like quickly pop over to the next person. It doesn't realize that there's a second person. But I think that's just because of how well this game tracks. Like you can tell, like certain games seem to track even better than others, and this is one of them that I feel like. I mean, this thing is really well done. I like this one's fun.
Got them.
See, so like I said, and they've added extra, custom pins, few custom balls, so you actually get to keep whatever you unlock. I guess this is the last frame, so I only did a 5-frame game.
All right.
So you can see it will add the points up there in the corner. It's a solid
bowling.
Solid little bowling game.
So it looks like so far a lot of games geared younger crowd, obviously.
Yeah, this device is a little different for us to show, just because it's not our typical.
Typical, but gamer parents have gamer kids, so
And I think I haven't even tried this one. This is another one that they show a lot in their advertisements, and they claim you can actually use the tennis racket. Which I don't know if you want to kids me into.
We can use one of the ring lights.
Actually, let's see. I'm curious on this, how well this one works. So this is a kart racer, but you hold your hands out, I think, and you actually steer. I'm not sure if you just hold your hands up or if you do like more of an airplane type thing. I think you hold your hands up, because this one you can actually do 4 people at the same time. Stand in the middle. Feel like I'm in the middle. Am I not?
I think you're pretty
Oh,
good.
wait, raise both your hands. A little closer.
And the load screen.
I mean, I think the interface works well. The operating system's solid. It just shows the games. It's easy to select. You have to try to get into the options. Oh, look at that. So yeah, you do have to hold like a steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually very cool.
That's funny.
This one I can tell is this one's a little delayed, but I mean, it's got rails and it's a kart racer.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, a little racing through the kitchen.
Oh, it's got 50cc and 100cc.
Oh dear. He's gonna hurt himself. What in the world is that wrong with that kid? That is a creepy gremlin looking child. It's supposed to be for kids, and that would give my kids a nightmare looking at that guy.
Cool. I'm picking this guy. Sure.
He loves plastic.
We'll just keep going. We'll just keep accept everything that this game's throwing at us.
All right.
Now it's time to completely fail at racing.
Nah, you got this.
But so this Nex Playground, $199.99. And it comes with 5 games, the first 5. And now we
Which
get,
is a nice little,
oh, it's got
pish
little,
posh of different games.
this actually feels better than the tutorial was feeling. I'll say that and then start hitting all
I was
the
gonna
walls.
say.
And it does have a decent range. So like normally I have this, right now I probably have the camera set up, waist height, I would say.
Hmm.
But normally I have it more shoulder height, pointing down a little bit, like it's on top of a fireplace mantle, and it seems to work just the same, and I'm farther away from the camera in its normal setup than what we're doing here. I feel like the camera tracking is really good overall, like it just is working. Like the closest comparison I can think of, and from our gaming, is this, a Kinect.
Yeah. Not beach buggy racing.
Well, Kinect games. And this seems to be, I would say, less finicky than a Kinect. Like, Kinect would randomly jump. This doesn't seem to have those kind of jumps.
No, it has doodle heads.
I have not done this one at all, so I think it's a vertical shooter, and it puts your face on the spaceship. Would you like to try doodle heads?
No, you go ahead. You're doing great.
Oh, look, you can upgrade your ship.
Robo.
Stand in the frame.
Completely. Oh, look at him. His alien head. Oh my.
Oh, look, it actually, the robot arms. Oh, it moves. Oh, that's cool. Look, I'm throwing the rocket. Oh, that's fancy. Oh, that guy.
That looks pretty fun. I gotta admit.
Woo! Barely jumping it. It throws you across the. This one's very.
Some clouds are just darker. Some are rain clouds.
I've already been doing that. Come on, game. It's too late. So you just lean to move back and forth, because since this one I think is 4-player.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess those are probably something you want to collect, maybe.
It probably couldn't hurt.
Oh yeah, look, I'm level 2. I'm professional.
You're ready. I mean, you are. You're so ready.
So you do actually have to like lift your arms every time. Oh, once we get jump. Ooh. So yeah, you have to actually you can't just sit here and just karate chop in the air. You have to do a little bit of movement there for your rockets. I don't know. I'm liking this one. This
Yeah.
one's cool.
Like I said, it looks very responsive.
I need the coins. I'm assuming you upgrade them to the levels. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any. This is neat. This is a little doodle. Some little doodles.
Yep.
So it actually has some health and fitness ones too. Like this, I know this one actually judges your squats and stuff like that. They've shown videos of that. You got the more relaxed one, puzzle games like 2048, which has been, on phones and everything. That's new. I've never even seen those couple before. And then, they got some big licenses coming up. I mean, they got Barbie, Kung Fu Panda, Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing is most of them do show what month they're going to come out. They don't show the exact day, but so next month we should have 4 games added. First I was like, oh, why'd they give me a remote?
Mm-hmm.
But navigating this menu waving your arms would...
That'd have been terrible.
But yeah, see, if you scroll up, then that's when the settings pop up.
There's a Kinect 4 bounce. I think I've seen that at the arcade.
Yeah, it's like it's like the Kinect 4 basketball, which you would think this one's forgiving, like you're gonna make it in no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
No, nope. It'll bounce you'll actually miss.
You can't be 2 people.
Let's say I have to play by myself. I don't have any friends.
No friends for you. I'm actually kind of in a frame, but
You didn't raise your hand, so you don't.
no. You're fighting the yellow ball.
It's gonna be kind of weird though, because there's another one where I'm gonna be facing this way, where when you are aiming, I think it was like based on where you're kind of turning. So you raise your hand to throw the ball.
Okay.
See. Let's see, if you raise your hand fast, you might miss where you actually aim.
Yeah.
And it also seems to be like if you raise your hand straight up or to an angle. And I've actually missed multiple shots in a row before on it. See, like that. Bucket, they win. So it's kind of neat that it's not just an automatic shot. It actually depends on how you're aiming.
That's pretty cool. Preschool party games.
I will say, like, Candyland is like a little endless runner type game. So is Miraculous. I'll show. Let's see. I'll show another one of the starter games that you get. So you get, these are the 5 that are the starter games. So we did Fruit Ninja, and this has some licensed songs. Like you saw, like Imagine Dragons is on there.
Nice. It's a good touch.
I don't know anything about their adding songs or anything. But you'll see this is kind of they're trying to make their own little version of Beat Saber. Which I don't know if you've played Beat Saber ever.
I don't think so. Pick a mode, catch or slash.
Which is slash all day. But it does have 2 players side by side, but you can see it's all licensed music. So it's not, they got a decent amount of songs on here. I don't know exactly how many. But it also has multiple difficulties.
Expert.
Oh yeah, pretty sure I can handle it. Not really.
It's preparing in case you wanted to know.
But see, like this one, on the slice mode, not the catch mode, you hit the direction that the arrows are pointing. Which is kind of like Beat Saber. Beat Saber has little bouncing cubes.
Yeah.
This is definitely not as good at looking as Beat Saber, but Beat Saber is also on a more powerful device. So you got, and then it's got these areas where I think you lean into it and stand in these areas.
It's like Rock Band without the instruments.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what Beat Saber is. It's lightsaber Rock Band, which, streaming and looking to the side, I'm clearly way off on half of this.
Clearly.
With no music either. But I think you got the point.
No food.
You'll know if this one, and if you do play 2-player, I'll put, one guy here and then one guy next to it.
And it's a lot like the Wii. Your motion controls minus the, you don't have the control. Your hands are the controls essentially. It reminds me of that a lot. With better graphics.
See, I would say it's basically the Xbox Kinect.
Yeah.
The style of games.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you lose the buttons, but yeah, I mean it's
kind of somewhere in between. Only about 4 people played the Kinect, so they might not remember that.
It came with the system whenever you got one.
Yeah, but nobody used it. No, it's in terms of like I was watching him and with our little setup here, it wasn't the most elaborate, but the delay, it wasn't there. It looked like it was pretty instantaneous. I'm not going to say perfect, but it was overall pretty good. I don't think it would ruin a game at all.
No.
Looked like, Fruit Ninja, you've got to have your timing down and some of the others. So I think in terms of what they have put together, good stuff. So I do think it's pretty cool. Kids are going to probably love it, because again, you don't have to get batteries. You don't have to plug in controllers.
No, and the setup for it was basically plug it in, set up an account, which you could do on your phone, and then connect it to your Wi-Fi. And that was it. It downloaded a small software update. It was pretty quick, painless, and you're up and running. So it was quick. I mean, we were up and running in a few minutes from the initial setup whenever I hooked it up for the first time.
I like the look of it and the shape of it, and being.
Yeah, and the remote's simple. It's got basically directional buttons, a center button, a back, and a home button. So even a little bit older kids would be able to operate that pretty easily. There's not a lot of extra stuff on there. Fairly self-explanatory on that. You just got the power plug and the HDMI, and that's it. Anyone that's concerned about privacy of the camera, on the power plug, you have a magnetic camera cover.
Nice.
But I mean,
it's worth it, The camera tracking seemed great. He was wandering back behind me and stuff just to show, and it was picking him up.
And I will say there's a couple of games that they actually will show like a skeleton, so it actually shows like where it's tracking. So it's kind of cool to see that. The only kind of issue I've had is I'm just over 6 foot, and then if I have one of my little ones playing next to me, sometimes we kind of struggle, like, so I have to have her step back a couple steps or something like that. But
she's like back there on top of the pinball machine.
Yeah,
like.
I mean, so there's been a couple of times with that, but for the most part it's worked fine.
Yeah.
The bowling tracking is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I've actually walked like 20 feet away from the camera, and it's still following me around the room when I'm trying to get it to, because, and the kids are jumping with their arms in the air to get it to pick them up instead. So I'll even have to lean away from it for it to pick up them. But bowling, even, with the little kids, it works. Like, you can tell, like, if they're doing this number, I actually had one of my kids, they flung the bowling ball into the other lane, which I didn't even, which that surprised me that the game even did that. But he He's jumped and swung his arm, and the ball just bounced over in
Nice.
the other lane. But there's games like whack-a-mole where moles they just pop out all around the screen. The kids just wail away. So I think even little kids can play a lot of the games.
Yeah.
Then some of them are a little more complicated. We showed that there's a workout game app. I haven't tried it, but it looks pretty solid. And then there's other ones that are still entertaining. I think because you can have up to 4 players. So there's other ones that are entertaining. Even like there's some there's simple ones like Hungry Hippos. You raise your arms up, slam them down to eat whatever's in
Right.
front of you. But it's easy enough, and a lot of the games are the smaller kid ones are a little more forgiving. So it's not like the kids will get dominated. Then like Peppa Pig, I saw them play that, and that's more of a just flailing about, jumping around, and then
Right.
they jump up and down and swing their arms in front of you. But
So the games are definitely geared, younger. I mean, the whole thing is geared, basically towards
yeah,
a kid.
it's not a hardcore gamer device.
Yeah,
at all.
adults, you could have some fun with it and definitely have some fun with the kids. I don't think an adult just by themselves is going to enjoy it. Not, I mean, like you said, the Kinect, that was a good point. That one had workouts, it had shooters, stuff like that. That's not what this is. Kids are going to love it because he used the term flailing and arms up, arms down, and you're making stuff happen. And that's what they're good at sometimes.
And the other thing, the way to look at it too, it's would you rather them be on the tablet, or they can fire this up? They're still playing a game, but they're jumping around.
Right.
And like we showed in the video, some of the games don't pause. It just goes level to level to level.
Yeah.
And I mean, before they know it, they've been jumping around for 20, 30 minutes. I jumped in one of those games with them. I was like, oh man, this needs to stop. But they just keep going. But
Please.
I don't know. I was surprised by the
You
tracking
can't
of
hit the menu button on the controller over there or something?
you can, but if you don't have the controller, there's no like break
Okay.
between levels on some games. It just is
Gotcha.
like level 1, level 2, level 3. It just keeps
Yeah.
going. It works really well tracking wise. You can tell when it zooms in on your face. You'll get like a pixelated picture, a little bit pixelated whenever it puts your face on something. Who cares as long as it works well enough tracking. I haven't had any issues. I mean, obviously, if something goes in front of you, it's not going to magically know where your legs are if the game has you jump or something. Sometimes like that, like it actually tells you, try to avoid moving objects in your background, or like even pets, like dogs walking in front of you or something can mess with it a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean, that's to be expected.
yeah, I mean it's
So-
motion tracking.
So we
But-
talked about the games, definitely geared younger. We've talked about the camera tracking. The quality of the build seems legit. Nice, solid materials. USB-C, HDMI. They thought it out. Decent in a compact size. Always nice. Even down to the camera cover. Now let's talk price point. Like he said, there's subscription. Seems a little steep to me. 30 games. Sounds decent. You got to look at it from the kid's viewpoint. Adult 30 games seems nice, but the types of games, they're quick games. Jump in, jump out. Obviously, you can't pause very easily, but it's that kind of no learning curve. Just do what it says and go. And I'm also a little stuck on the price point, $200, like he said.
The $200, I don't think for the device itself isn't bad because there's nothing comparable at $200.
It's not bad unless what if they stop it?
Yeah, I mean that's
You know,
going to be the issue.
What if they just shut down the server one day? I mean, that's where you kind of get
yeah, you
some
hope.
of the other systems, the Wii and stuff. You'd at least still have the games, even if
I mean, I would imagine if it shut down, the games would just be left on there because it does download. You're not streaming games.
Yeah.
I imagine you just get those games. They're done, but could be wrong because they're downloaded on your device.
right.
But
And that's a big what if. That's just down the road.
I say it does look like from the counts of reviews on Amazon, I think it's sold fairly well. Like there's a lot of reviews on Amazon.
Yeah.
And that's one reason we want to talk about it, because I tried to look up real discussion on it that wasn't from just like a parent that was like, oh, look, my kids jump around. They love it. Great. I mean, obviously, if you don't have kids, don't buy it.
Yeah.
If your kids are older,
I mean, I can't say don't buy it. I don't want to even go that far. I mean, it could be a couple who wants to jump around and flail their arms and play some
Yeah.
Kinect 4 or
I mean, the same. I mean, I guess there's a lot of
know.
people that bought a Wii just to do Wii Sports.
It's yeah. I mean, it is. There you go. It is kind of. It could be a party system. Some of those games are 4 to 6 players, holiday time. So I'm definitely not gonna. He might say don't buy it. I'm not gonna go that far, but I will say I don't know if the longevity is there for an adult. That's my only thing.
I mean, I think you have for the adult, you got probably the tennis game, bowling. The Beat Saber like game is probably pretty solid for an adult if you're not a Beat Saber player.
Yeah.
And then, the workout. I think the workout might actually be I haven't tried it yet, but that might actually be a really good thing for this, because unlike any other video workout, you can't cheat on the squats. Like, it monitors that you held it to make sure you did it. It's not just a timer going off saying, cool, time's up, stop.
Right.
And I think it actually will let you work out with another person. Like, you can have 2 people doing the workouts at the same time. So from that aspect, that's probably what you're looking at as an adult.
Mm-hmm. And they could add more. I mean, they could. I'm sure they're taking feedback and shaping this to be, whatever they're generating the most interest in. If it's kids, if it's adults, if it's families,
It definitely seems to be geared for families. All their marketing,
all the games.
I think it seems like they are. I mean,
that's also.
It's
tentatively dangerous.
I can't tell. Like, it's not very clear, because Fruit Ninja actually launches with Half Bricks logos, which is the company that makes Fruit Ninja. So maybe they might have started out making all of the games and now getting people to join in, because I think Fruit Ninja was recently added.
Yeah.
And then the fact that
that's the perfect game for this, though.
Yeah, I mean, Fruit Ninja is amazing on all this stuff. So they might be getting other developers on board. We'll see. They got major licenses on board, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive, the licenses that they do have.
I would unpack it, just, heed our words of cautionary tales. Because, if it does not catch on, like we've talked about some of the devices in the past, you may be stuck with this cube.
That's the thing. It's the biggest thing that I couldn't find was people saying if the tracking worked well. The tracking works well. You can curve your shot in bowling. It works well.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing I was trying to find out, is from a gamer perspective, if the tracking actually worked, or if it was just like you'd wave your arm and something happens. And I don't think the tracking's an issue at all. Mm-hmm. Which is the
and I could tell just watching him, it was decent. There was, like I said, I can't say there's no lag, because then somebody will buy it and say, well, we had a little bit.
Yeah,
there's maybe slightly, but it's really pretty good.
And in some games you'll notice a little bit, and some games you notice less. I mean, to me it's up to the games on how well they code it, but for the most part it works, and some of the games have proven the tracking can work extremely well. It's just, I mean, it's on the game cycle. So the way I would look at this device personally is, if you look at the list of games and it's interesting to you as is, then go for it. If you're buying something based off future on a new technology product that's based on software, I hate to say that, but I do it all the time.
Or if you have a room that looks like it should have things out of Toy Story, and you want to put this on the shelf, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'd unpack it as well. First day, probably used it for 3 hours, and I'll say probably 2 hours of that was bowling, just trying to unlock the Halloween stuff before Halloween. The Halloween items went away.
Now that's a good point, though. So talking about the future of this, if they do keep putting in little Easter eggs, where let's just call it, kind of like Animal Crossing, having seasons and stuff like that, where if they had Halloween unlockables, they have Christmas unlockables, that keeps kids interested. And I mean, in this
Well,
case, a big kid here.
Yeah, because if I didn't unlock the jack-o'-lantern bowling ball, then I wasn't going to get it.
Right, right. So,
See
yeah,
that
okay. Add more stuff like that, Mr. Nex.
and also like Hungry Hippo had pumpkins like randomly pop on the screen for the
Yeah.
hippos to eat. So there were, and they did put a little Halloween icon on each game that had I think there was like 4 or 5 that had a Halloween feature
Yeah.
added on. So there is cool stuff like
So
that.
that's cool. That keeps people coming back, tuning in, saying, what's next. So keep the community involved. Unlockables, people love doing that. Not through DLC, just let them play for it.
Yep.
And
Um,
I'd like to see where it goes, frankly. And
and we'll see in the future if they start selling the apps by themselves to where you don't have to do a subscription.
I hope you guys enjoyed a real parent review from people that actually have it in their hands.
And I've had it now for a couple weeks, so I've played almost all the games. I don't have very many complaints. I mean, you launch a game, it's kind of what you expect to do, and then some, like the little doodle spaceship game, was surprisingly fun.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, I do think if they can get it between 99 and like 149, but if they could get this thing to the $100 mark somehow, I think,
if they could get it to $25, it'd be even better.
I'm trying to make sure they stay in business, okay? All right.
If they
I
could
am.
cut it in half, they
If they can. Just saying, throw it out there. We'll see you guys. Thanks.